this is Wendy with Loaves and Dishes, and today we are making Granny's sour cream cookies. Boy, are they good. And if you'll go to wait a minute, here's what you're going to need. Freeze frame it. There you go. And here are the ingredients listed out. But if you go over to loavesandishes.net and search for sour cream cookies, you'll find them. These are the perfect cookies for Easter if you frost them and add a little food coloring to the frosting. You'll see at the end, they make really pretty spring colors. You could also frost them in reds, whites, and blues for patriotic holidays. You could leave them white with icing, or you'll see in the photos that they don't even have to have icing. You just put a few sprinkles on the top or leave them plain, either way. So here you'll see I'm adding to the bowl of my stand mixer. You can just use a large bowl and a hand mixer, that's fine too. A half a cup of butter, that's 1 stick, 1 cup of sugar, an egg, a teaspoon of vanilla, half teaspoon of almond extract, 2 2/3 cups of all-purpose flour, a teaspoon of baking powder, a half teaspoon of baking soda, half teaspoon of kosher salt, 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, and a half a cup of sour cream. And that's what it looks like after you've mixed it. You just want to mix it until the dough comes together and forms cookie dough. We know what cookie dough looks like. So there you have it. I'm getting all that dough off of my paddle. And then we're going to bake it in the oven at 425 for just 8 to 10 minutes. These cook up really, really fast. Now you'll see in a second, I like to use parchment paper, which I am unable to tear evenly. Look at that ugly piece of parchment paper. But I like to use that in my baking sheet because it keeps the cookies from sticking. And I like to use that 1.5 inch scoop because it makes all of the cookies a really even size. And I sped this up because who wants to watch me dip out cookies on the tray? And I didn't space them evenly, so had to fix that. There's what you do if you want to add sprinkles now. You just lightly press them into the top of the cookie. But I'm only going to do a couple because I plan to ice these. This recipe makes 24 cookies if you use that size scoop. You can also scoop them out with a spoon or even with your hand. Either way is fine. And you can make them bigger. Anyway, so we're going to bake them in the oven for 8 to 10 minutes. And what you will want to do is put them in for 4 minutes. You'll see me doing the stove timer for 4 minutes here in a second. And after 4 minutes, you want to change the pans to the other rack and turn them around. Not everybody's oven bakes evenly. Mine doesn't. And so that helps you even out the heat. If you will put them in for 4 minutes. That's what I'm doing. See? 4 minutes. Here we go. Start. And then after 4 minutes, now my camera action is not very good here because I'm trying to hold the camera and turn the pans. So you spend some time looking at the floor. There's the floor. But turn those pans around, and if they've been on the lower rack, put them on the upper rack, and put the one that was on the upper rack on the lower rack. See how easy that is? And while they're when they finish up baking, that'll be in about 4 minutes, we'll start making the icing. So go ahead and get your frosting ingredients out. I'll show those to you in just a second. There, that's what they look like when they're done. They don't look done. So they're not going to be heavily browned, and they're not going to be spread way out on the pan. There's my floor again. Anyway, I want you to take a close look at what they look like when they're done. That's it, they're done. And they're not very brown on the bottom either. They're just lightly browned. And there, if you put the sprinkles on ahead of time, that's what they'll look like. So now, freeze frame if you want to get the frosting ingredients. There they are. Now we're going to add those to the bowl of a stand mixer or to a large bowl, and you can use a hand mixer if you like. The ingredients for this are a block of cream cheese, a cup of powdered sugar, about a half a cup of sour cream, a half a stick of butter, a teaspoon of vanilla, and half a teaspoon of almond extract. And then we're going to mix those up very well, and I'm going to do that really fast here. You'll see. And I cut my hand out of those pictures. That's why it looks like that lever's moving on its own. But this is what it looks like when it's done. And then I'm going to color my frosting. You don't have to, but I'm going to for Easter. So divide your icing into 4 little bowls. And let me tell you, food coloring is about the most powerful thing on earth. It's the atomic bomb of food ingredients. That's 5 little drops of blue. Look how deeply blue these cookies are. Or this icing is. Look how blue that is. Now, for my others, because I want those to be pastel, it's going to be 1 drop. 1 drop. So 1 drop in about a cup of frosting, and you look at that green that you get. And then we'll do 1 drop of red, and that will make a pink color. It's kind of a deep colored pink though. But if you're going to do a deep red for like a patriotic holiday, you want to add probably 4 drops of red food coloring. So here we go. 1. I can't quite get it to come out. There we go. 1 drop. Now look how deeply pink this is with the 1 drop. And then we'll do yellow. And you can just mix that with a fork. Whoops, I got 2. Now let me show you what to do if you get too much. Just use a utensil and dip it out and discard it. There we go. Now, these are a rustic cookie with rustic icing. So we're not going to do any fancy piping of the icing. I'm just going to use a little spatula. You can use a butter knife, that's fine. Spread the icing on the top of your cookie. And then you're going to need to lay them out side by side on a plate or barely propped against each other. Otherwise, you're going to have icing everywhere. So that's it. You enjoy. Come over to loavesandishes.net for the full recipe with full instructions. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hey, this is Wendy. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you'll join Sarah and I on our mother-daughter adventures in takeout. You can find Dorks with Sports wherever you download podcasts or at dorkswithsports.com.